you guys one thing about where you've started today as I was looking to try and fix my microphone. You know, Alex always says that Kawhi never gets criticized.
Ever.
You know? And Alex has taken this victory lap over Doc getting fired by the Clippers. You know, I would put this on Kawhi. You went out and got the best player. And the fact of the matter is, Kawhi Leonard's a great player. But you know what he's not? He's not a leader. Doesn't mean that he doesn't go out and play great. Doesn't mean that he doesn't go out and make huge plays.
Doesn't mean that he can't lead a team to a championship.
Well, he was part of a team.
Yeah.
In San Antonio, can we all agree that was not Kawhi's team?
Right.
You know? And then when he got to Toronto, he was part of a really good group of guys, a really good team.
But he wasn't the voice on that team either. It was Kyle Lowry.
Lowry and Van Vliet.
That's my point. That's my point. Is that, you see, the thing is that as much as it's blasphemy to criticize Kawhi, particularly in San Diego, I don't know why everybody has this crazy love for him here.
Because he's one of ours.
Well, he had 2 good years. It's great. And he helped very much put San Diego State on the map. But here's the thing. At San Diego State, he had a team and he had a great coach. Okay. In San Antonio, he had a team where he wasn't the primary and he had a great coach in an established system. When he went to Toronto, exactly to your point, he did not have to be the leader in terms of emotion and words and locker room. All he had to do was go out and play. But you see, where the Clippers overestimated Kawhi is it's kind of like Will Myers. He just wants to go out and play. He doesn't want to have to lead. Okay? Kawhi just wants to play. He doesn't want to be burdened with leadership. He doesn't want to be burdened with being the team spokesperson. There's a huge difference between Kawhi Leonard and LeBron James, not just on the court, but off the court. And here's the deal. When you're LeBron, you are the coach, okay? That is LeBron's team. When you're Kawhi with the Clippers, it's supposed to be your team, but you don't have the personality to make it your team. You got the game to make it your team, but not the personality to make it your team. And I'm just here to tell you that if Kawhi Leonard has a Steve Fisher, Greg Popovich, if he had somebody who was a great coach who could lead but not need the best player to lead, I think that's what the Clippers need. But I'll just tell you this right now. There's a huge difference. LeBron is an overwhelming personality. Kawhi is an underwhelming personality. And I think that the Clippers did not really take that factor into account. Not that they didn't want him, but they have to have more.
But
because
Scott,
he doesn't do that. Yes, sir.
You're describing Doc Rivers. What you're describing he needs is Doc Rivers, a guy who leads the huddle, a guy who runs the team, a guy who no one has a doubt of who's coaching the team. That's what he needs. That's Nick. By the way, he doesn't get a lot of credit for this. Nick Nurse is a great coach, great X and O guy, very smart coach. He coaches guys. Doc Rivers is the same thing.
But you need a player to do it, is what Scott's saying.
That's what I'm saying. Is that you have to have one guy. You have to have one guy. But the problem is, it's supposed to be Kawhi, but it's not him. It'll never be him.
The problem with, and I disagree with you guys. And I know you guys are, you got back Kawhi Leonard. Listen, here's why I disagree with you guys. What happened to that team is Paul George thought he was Kawhi Leonard. So when Kawhi Leonard was load managing, Paul George thought he could load manage. When Kawhi wasn't doing something, Paul George thought he didn't have to do something. And where they had a gigantic separation on this roster is when Kawhi wouldn't say something, Paul George would. And he's not Kawhi Leonard. And so you had an internal battle between Lou Williams and Montrezl Harrell and Paul George. And that basically fractured the team. And Doc Rivers failed at mending that relationship because that's what they paid him for. They paid him to bring it together, and he didn't, and that's why he lost his job. Describe
it one more time. Just real quickly, slow it down for people who don't know the Clippers as intimately as you do. And let's assume that's 95% of the people listening.
Yo, yeah. This is a Clippers town.
Oh, it is?
Clippers town. listen, every time we put anything on Sided, anytime I put any video on Twitter of me criticizing Kawhi, I get backlash. There's a Clippers town. There's a Clippers town.
Look at him. You need a purple and gold. You need a purple and gold, Binky. Look at me. Come on, Laker fan. Suck it up.
Yeah, I will suck it up in the NBA Finals while you guys are in Cancun. What I was saying is when Scott says 95% of people don't know, I think a lot of people are keeping up with the Clippers, which was my whole point.
All right, so go real quick through your three-headed problem in the Clipper locker room, and I'm going to explain to you why Doc Rivers gets fired. Go ahead.
So, Kawhi Leonard is the face of the franchise. He is the best player. But Kawhi Leonard got to load manage. Kawhi Leonard got to not practice. Kawhi Leonard got to have his way on that roster. Paul George, the second best player, thought he had the same gravitas as Kawhi Leonard within the locker room. He did not. He thought he came with the same bells and whistles as Kawhi Leonard. He did not. And this angered Lou Williams and Montrezl Harrell because the year before, they pushed the Warriors, I think it's 6 games, without either of those dudes. And when they got in, they thought everybody was going to work hard. They thought everybody was going to practice every day. And that did not happen. And that fractured the team.
So you're saying Kawhi Leonard fractured the team?
Listen, if that's how you want it.
Well, that's the bottom line is Kawhi Leonard got days off. Kawhi Leonard didn't have to come and just be part of a team that had pushed the Warriors. It became Kawhi Leonard's team. And you're saying that guys revolted against that.
Guys revolted against the idea that Paul George got to do the same things Kawhi Leonard got to do. Because you think LeBron practices every day?
Well, let me ask you a question. Do you think that Anthony Davis is considered an equal to LeBron James in the Laker locker room?
No.
Of course not. Therefore, one guy's got to be the guy.
No.
Okay?
See, but what you're missing is Anthony Davis isn't trying to do the exact same things as LeBron James. Anthony Davis isn't traveling with a 7-person entourage. Anthony Davis isn't taking practice days off because he doesn't want to do it. Anthony Davis will never show up to the Lakers bench with a glass of wine in his hand. He can't do the same things LeBron James does because he's Anthony Davis. He's not LeBron James. LeBron James has a track record of winning. Kawhi Leonard has a track record of winning. Paul George does not. And that angered other guys on the team.
I'm not going to disagree with Browner because I don't think like a lot of this is factually proven at the moment. I know that there's always articles and books written after, but I will say this as a Lakers fan, that's going to watch his team in the finals starting tomorrow night. This is so great. This is so great, man. Not only did the Clippers blow it to the Nuggets, they fired Doc Rivers. They're panicking. They're choosing pandemic P over Doc Rivers. As much as he underperforms, in my opinion, they're choosing to go for it when both of those players can opt out next year. This could be a massive rebuild where they don't have draft picks. They could lose Kawhi. They could lose Paul George. They already lost Doc Rivers. Listen, Steve Ballmer can have all the money in the world. So did that guy Mikolaj Prokop, and look at the Nets, how well he did there. All I'm saying is money doesn't solve the issues. You have to have a established culture there, which they just don't have. They thought they had it, but they don't. And as a Laker fan, for all the Clipper fans saying, oh man, this is our year. We're going to take over. We're going to win the championship. We got Kawhi. We got Paul George. Guess what? Look at you now. Look at you now. Listen, we might lose in the finals, but at least we're still playing. At least we're still playing.